Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Mid-Level Media channel, your hub for everything physical media and entertainment. And guys, look, I've got a lot of stuff to show off. I've got a lot of pickups. I've been stalling on showing this stuff off. So this is going to be kind of like a mini Physical Media Lives episode. If you remember, I did those towards the beginning of the year, but just where I showed off a bunch of my recent pickups and releases that have come out. I've got stuff from studios here. I've got stuff that I purchased myself. I've got Vinegar Syndrome stuff that we're going to get into. I've got some of these I've watched. So I'll be able to give a little bit of insight and some reviews, some short form reviews for these releases. So yeah, guys, just an all-in-one pickup video, new release pickup video. Before we get into it, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button if you haven't already. We talk about physical media on this channel, guys. Blu-rays, 4Ks, owning the movies that you love, all that stuff there behind me every single day. So if you like that kind of stuff, hit that subscribe button. Also hit the like button. And then comment down below, guys, what have you been picking up recently? I've gotten some cool stuff, some cool Blu-rays, some cool 4Ks. What have you grabbed? Did you grab any of this stuff I'm getting ready to show off? Let me know what you think of it in the comment section below. Now, a lot of the stuff that I'm going to be going over, I will also be linking down below in the description. So if any of this stuff looks interesting to you, check those links out. And you can purchase some copies of these releases. But some of these I'm going to be able to tell you if it's worth it or not. And some I'm going to be able to tell you if it's not. And some I'm just not going to be able to say much at all. Except for, look at this cool thing I got. And that's all I'm going to be able to say. Anyway, this is the first one I'm going to be like, look at this cool thing I got. And that's Incendies from 101 Films. Haven't watched this yet. This is a movie directed by Denis Villeneuve. Now, the fun thing about this is I actually bought this movie on Blu-ray, I think, 5-6 years ago. It's one of the first Blu-rays I bought because I love Denis Villeneuve. I love Enemy, I love Prisoners, I love Arrival, Blade Runner 2049, Sicario. Big fan of him as a director for a while now, probably since like 2014, 2015. And a lot of people were saying I needed to check this movie out, so I bought the Blu-ray, and I just never got around to watching it. But I've never heard one bad thing about this movie, so I'm like, you know what? I'll just go ahead and get the 4K. That way my first time watching the movie will be in 4K, and to hell with that Blu-ray. It still sits on the shelf. But yeah, anyway. Incendies, really nice cover, 101 Films. I don't buy a ton from 101 Films. I got The Following from Christopher Nolan last year. I should have got Memento, but I kind of slept on that release. Ghost Watch I wanted as well. So I need to buy a little bit more from 101 Films. They're nice releases. They come in a nice hard box right here. They got numbered spined, 038. So yeah, this is a movie from 2010. Incendies. Look at the cover on that. I'll show off the back right there. Looks like we got some new features here. You got Remembering the Ashes, Incendies Through Their Eyes, Commentary with Denis Villeneuve, Interview with Denis Villeneuve. I think these are new. There's also a Q&A with Denis Villeneuve as well. So yeah, this is, again, I've heard great things about this movie. I'm excited to watch it. I just haven't watched it yet. Okay, cut me some slack. All right. Anyway, we got the cover right here. I think this is the reversible cover because I've already went through this. But there is a sticker on the front. There's a sticker right there. That's pretty cool. You open it up, you got the 2 discs on the inside. So the 4K is region free because most 4Ks are region free, guys. I always get that question. People ask me about 4K. 4K, like 99.99999% of 4Ks are region free. Every once in a blue moon, you will get one that maybe is not. I think there's like 3 examples of that total, but most 4Ks are region free, guys. But the Blu-ray is region B, so you're gonna have to have a region free player to play the Blu-ray. Which I haven't checked this out yet. I don't know if the special features are on the Blu-ray or if they're on the 4K. But you got a nice little card right here, 101 Channel 101. I guess there's a streaming service for 101 Films. Not exactly sure. But you flip this and you have the actual artwork on the cover of the release. I'm gonna be honest, like I like the reversible cover art a little bit better. Like I would have liked that to be on the cover of this release. That would have been pretty cool. Bam! Look at that. That looks pretty damn awesome. Yeah, I need to check this out. There's also booklets on the inside as well. So yeah, 101 Films, they know how to put out a nice release. Okay, I got to give them a little bit of credit. They know how to put out a nice release. So I am excited to check this one out, you know. Yes, I spent $15 on the Blu-ray 6 years ago, and I just spent $40 more on this, and I still haven't seen the movie, but I will watch it. okay? I promise. It would be cool if they did, because this is not his first movie. This is like the first movie that I think he got some notoriety with as a director, but I think he did 2 other films before this, Polytechnique and Maelstrom, I think. So it'd be cool if 101 Films like tackled some of his other earlier films for sure. But yeah, that's Incendies. I also got The Watchers on 4K. This came to me from Warner Brothers. My wife and I watched this, and it was okay. I mean, it's directed by M. Night Shyamalan's daughter. I think her name is Ashana Shyamalan, and she does fine in her first, feature film debut. Not as good as her dad in his film debut of The Sixth Sense. In fact, no, I think Shyamalan did one movie before that with Rosie O'Donnell or something. Wasn't it like a comedy or something? I can't quite remember. But like his first film that people like paid attention to was The Sixth Sense. So this is not like a Sixth Sense situation for his daughter, but I think visually it's a really interesting film. It's a really interesting premise and a setup, and I think it's based on a book. But it goes in the most like bland, mediocre directions possible. The performances are okay. Dakota Fanning's in this movie. And everybody's like fine in the movie. Like visually it looks great. Like it's set in a forest most of the time. And it's got some really like good like cinematic like qualities and value to it. But I just didn't think the movie was very interesting at the end of the day. But nice cover right here. The 4K did look excellent. So if you saw this in the theaters and you loved it, you want a nice 4K of it, I thought the 4K looked fantastic. There's also Dolby Atmos on this as well. So sound-wise, it has great sound design and it sounded fantastic on my sound system. And I'll show you the spine right there. Did I show you the back already? I'm already repeating myself, guys. The Watchers. You got the front, you got the back. Open it up. You got the 4K. I don't know if I've given this away or not. If I haven't, you can take it. But I think I gave that away on a live stream a couple of weeks ago. I could be wrong. But yeah, The Watchers is, it's okay. It's not a terrible movie. It's fine. You might like it. It's about demonic fairies or something like that, I think. You got 4 featurettes on this and deleted scenes. So you got a good amount of special features here. So there's enough to dig into. I can recommend the release. I just think that maybe you need to see the movie before you invest $30 in it. Make sure you like the film before you do that. Maybe rent it or something like that. But yeah, The Watchers it's fine. It's fine. I do have Bringing Out the Dead on 4K from Paramount. Haven't watched this yet, but I do plan to do a full review. This is a really cool release because this is the first time this has been put out beyond DVD. So this is the first time to Blu-ray, first time to 4K release. Movie starring Nicolas Cage. You got John Goodman in this movie. You got Patricia Arquette. You got Ving Rhames in the film, so it's got a really good cast. I really like the artwork right there. This is Paramount Presents that is putting this out. 2-disc set. It is spine number 47 on this set. Now, I did notice on the back, it shows the special features, but in the actual press release, it showed like 8 new interviews, 8 or 9, and there's only 4 right there. So I am, see, when you go down a little bit further, it shows like on set with. So I'm wondering if, I don't know, I'm going to have to dig into it. Again, I'm going to review this and get to the bottom of what's going on here with this release. But it looks like it has a good amount of special features for sure. You got the front of the case, you got the back of the case. Oh, I forgot to show you the coolest part of the Paramount Presents releases, and that's they fold out to reveal the original poster of the movie. So this is a movie directed by Martin Scorsese. I don't even know if I mentioned that yet, but this is a Martin Scorsese film from 1999, which a lot of people would say is the greatest year in film history. There is a digital code here, and there is a Blu-ray and a 4K on the inside. But again, I do plan to do a full review of this when I get around to watching it, which I'll probably try to watch it when I get done filming this video. I also got Sudden Death on 4K with Jean-Claude Van Damme. I'm going to be honest, like, I did not grow up with Van Damme, so I can't say that I have been the biggest fan of Van Damme my entire life, but, like, between this and Hard Target, like, I am becoming a Jean-Claude Van Damme fan because I really loved Hard Target, and Universal Soldier I watched as well. That's an okay film, but between this and Hard Target, and I know I need to watch Bloodsport, guys. I know I need to watch Bloodsport. That's his big movie. But between this and Hard Target, like, I don't know. I'm really coming around to Jean-Claude Van Damme, and I wish I was watching him more growing up. I watched Arnold Schwarzenegger, Sylvester Stallone, and Bruce Willis, and John Travolta, Nicolas Cage, like all the action stars of the 90s, but I didn't get into Van Damme as much. And I don't really know why, because his movies I feel like would have been right up my alley when I was a kid. This is a movie that's very much influenced by Die Hard. I feel like a lot of the movies of the 90s were influenced by Die Hard. I mean, it takes place in a hockey stadium. It's Game 7 of the World Cup, and you got the vice president there. You got a guy that comes in, he's holding the president hostage, vice president hostage, threatening to blow up the entire arena unless they give him like $2 billion or $2 million. I forget the total that he wants. He wants some kind of ridiculous amount of money for the vice president. But nobody in the stadium, though, like knows they're being held hostage, knows that there's bombs, but Jean-Claude Van Damme just kind of has to go in there. Well, he's already there. He's like the fire marshal, and he took his kids there, and then one of his kids gets held hostage. So he kind of has to operate in the shadows like Bruce Willis and Die Hard and figure out how to both get his kid back and defuse these bombs and save everybody in the arena at the same time. So it's a very like, cliche kind of story. It's nothing you haven't seen before, but I think the setting kind of makes it unique. Like the hockey game setting makes it a little bit unique. And I really think that Powers Booth as the villain is really great. He plays a really great villain in this movie. So it's, it's really good. I enjoyed Sudden Death a lot. There's a lot of really good action set pieces, and Van Damme can actually kick ass like in real life. So the action looks real because he's actually doing it. So that's cool. I feel like that's kind of a lost art these days, like action stars that can actually do the action themselves. So yeah, I'm really coming around on Van Damme. He's becoming, I wanted to say one of my favorites, but I haven't seen enough of his stuff, but I did really like this, and I really like Hard Target. So I feel like if I watch a few more of his movies and I really latch onto those, like he will probably become one of my favorite action stars for sure. But Sudden Death, really good movie. Like the cover on this as well. I'm sure this is the original theatrical poster. You got some stuff on the back right there. And this is a 4K with Dolby Vision HDR. I thought the 4K looked fantastic. I think that 90s action, like what I've seen, and in particular what Kino Lorber has done with 90s action, because they've really been at the forefront of it, I feel like, with Face Off, and they also did Hard Target, and then they did this. 90s action looks great in 4K. Like, there's a lot of great explosions, and just the look of it, like, cinematically, like, always looks great in 4K. So, I do highly recommend this in 4K. I think it looks fantastic. It's got a lot of great detail, and it's just a crisp, like, clean, nicely done 4K. What do you want me to say, guys? It looked good. It looked good. It sounded good. I think it just has the 5.1. There are some, there's a new audio commentary. There's vintage interview clips, some old interviews with the cast and crew in this as well. So that's pretty cool. I'll take it out of the slipcover. You got the 4K case. And on the inside, you just have the generic, Kino Lorber 4K and Blu-ray disc. So that is Sudden Death. And that movie came out in 1995. So that was like right at the peak of 90s action. I feel like, a couple of years later we would get Air Force One. I think the same year we got Bad Boys, Broken Arrow. Like, those are some of my favorite movies of the 90s. Like, I loved at 90s action films. I just don't know why I never gravitated towards some of these movies. I should have. I feel bad about it. The Stepfather. I think this is a movie from this is from Scream Factory, by the way. This is from 1987. And yeah, Scream Factory put this one out. Really solid. I don't know exactly what you would call this, horror slasher film, slasher thriller, whatever you want to call it. The opening of this movie is like truly disturbing. Like, I was like, oh my God, like they just really went for it right out the gate. The rest of the film, it's really kind of standard. He is a guy that's looking for the perfect family, and when they don't turn out to be the perfect family that he's looking for, he murders them. So that's kind of how the movie starts, and he's transitioning to another family, and then there's trouble there, and then he wants to transition to it. So he just keeps on transitioning. That's where the quote comes from. Who am I here? Because he can't remember like who he is in what area because he moves around so much. So it's the story of him moving in with his family, marrying. I did like how they just they didn't show him meeting the family. Like, he was just already a part of the family and already married to the mom when they kind of transitioned from the first scene to the next. And then you got Jill Jolene, who plays the daughter, and she suspects something's up, and then she kind of warms up to him, and then she suspects something's up again because he keeps acting crazy. Terry O'Quinn is really, really great in did I say great? Great in this role. The mom's really good as well, so I enjoyed the movie. I will say that it's not... I don't think it's a movie I'll rewatch very often. It's not a fun movie. Like, it's kind of a downer, a little bit depressing movie. I don't know. I just felt kind of down when I was watching it. So it's not a movie I'm going to jump back into too often. But I did feel like it was a good movie. It was a good movie, and it kind of, builds tension and suspense very well throughout. And it kind of just peaks to a nice crescendo at the end. So I enjoyed The Stepfather. Looked really good in 4K as well. It's got Dolby Vision. It's got HDR. I will say that if you are not a fan of grain, then you might not be a fan of this 4K because it's a very grainy transfer, but I thought it was very well done. Still had a really good amount of detail. The HDR with the blood and stuff just looked great. So the actual setting itself, the house and just the suburban community, the whites on the houses, all that stuff looked really great. Looked really nice and clean and crisp, but there is a good amount of grain in here as well. But I enjoyed that, so I thought it looked really good on 4K. So that's my thoughts. I think there's a few new audio commentaries. There's like 3 new audio commentaries here. There's a new interview with Jill Jolene as well. And I think this is a release that came out from Shout Factory back in the day. And this was before the Scream Factory line started. I think it came out in like 2010 or something. So they've already put this out before. Now they're re-releasing it a few years or 14 years later with new special features, new audio commentaries, new interviews. So Scream Factory is really the only label that does that. Like, I have to call that out. Like, you don't see Arrow or Criterion or anybody else that upgrades within their line do new special features. Like, you just don't see it. Like, Scream Factory, for all the criticism they get, they're really the only label that I can call out that's doing that. So I think that's pretty cool. So right there, guys, you got the cover. I'll show you the back right there. And this one's been out for, I think, a couple of weeks now. I think it came out September the 10th. And then you got the front of this. Now, I will say, since they put it out before, I think Piranha had this same thing happen as well. It had reversible cover art because Scream Factory usually doesn't put reversible cover art on their new 4Ks. So let me check and see if this one did it. Because one thing that you can complain about Scream Factory on is their consistency. And no reversible cover art for the Stepfather on this one. So there we have it, guys. That's the Stepfather. Right there. See, guys, I'm not just showing stuff up. I watched some of this stuff, okay? I did watch some of this stuff. I did get Return of the Living Dead, the Steelbook. I couldn't resist, guys. I just couldn't. Like, this sold out, and then it came back in stock, and I just jumped on it. I'm like, you know what? I need it. I like Return of the Living Dead a lot. Really great film, and this Steelbook is just too freaking awesome. Let's take the J card off. Too freaking awesome. You got Tar Man in the barrel breaking out. It's freaking awesome. Look at that. And I got to support Return of the Living Dead, right? This takes place in pretty much in my hometown. Like, Louisville, Kentucky is where this movie takes place. So this happened like right in my backyard, basically. But yeah, the Return of the Living Dead, guys, really great movie. Really great Steelbook. I do already have the 4K that came out a couple of years ago. I reviewed it on the channel if you guys want to check that out. And I've also got a Steelbook. I got the MGM Steelbook as well from back in the day. But you open this up and you got some cool disc art on there. You got some interior artwork. So just a really nice Steelbook that I was happy to add to the collection. Sometimes, guys, if the movie's good enough and the artwork's good enough, it's okay to double dip. Okay, just this. And that is a Walmart exclusive. You can only get that from Walmart as of right now. Now, I do anticipate, because the pattern for Scream Factory is they'll do Walmart exclusives, then they'll make it on their website and then put it on Amazon as well. They will do that, so I expect that to be on Amazon at some point. Let me take a drink, guys. All right, getting into the next release, and I did watch this one as well. I got this Deadstream Steelbook, and this is a movie that was a Shudder original back in 2021. So this Steelbook came out last year, and I wanted to get it last year, but I just never got around to it. So when I ordered the Return of the Living Dead, in order to get the free shipping, I had to spend over $50. So I just went ahead and ordered the Deadstream Steelbook, which I think was $20. And I've heard enough good things about this movie. I'll show you the card on the back right there. that I wanted to check it out. And this is a found footage movie, and it's about a streamer, basically a YouTuber, that stays the night in a haunted house and documents it all, and has like cameras and stuff that he sets up in every single room, and he has rules that he has to follow, and he's got people that's watching him that he's interacting with in the chat and stuff. So it's an interesting premise. I feel like I would say it's unique, but they kind of did a movie, not like this, but they did this same sort of thing with the movie Spree, that had the kid from Stranger Things, where he was kind of going around basically turning into a serial killer and documenting it, live streaming it. They've done that before with found footage, but this is a different premise. Like, he's staying the night in a haunted house, and then there's some crap that happens and some things that go down throughout. It's a really well done movie. I enjoy this one a lot. The guy that stars in it, I think co-directed it. So I think the guy that stars in this movie also directed it and possibly wrote it as well. But he's really good. Like, he really rides the line between being like super annoying and also like super charismatic as well. Like, you can't take your eyes off of him. Like, you can buy into this guy. Like, people would watch this guy in a haunted house. He's just entertaining enough, but he's also just annoying enough to want to like see where he's going, to either see if he can get out of it or to see if he can meet his demise, because he's so annoying and you want to see him get killed. So I like him a lot though in this movie. I think he's really good. I thought it was going to be just him, but there's actually some other characters and stuff that they introduced throughout, which kind of made things a little bit more interesting. But I enjoyed this one a lot. There's a lot of really good twists and turns and stuff. One thing I will say is some of the effects work on some of the creatures and stuff like that looked a little, and I don't want to bash on this too much. I don't want to harp on this too much because it's a very low budget movie, I'm sure. But it looked a little cheap, a little rubbery. So that kind of took me out of like certain scenes and moments. But that's really the only criticism. It's a really cool story. Got a lot of really cool twists and turns. And I'm a sucker for found footage anyway. So I really enjoyed this one. And a unique premise with the whole streaming aspect of it. So there's the front. There's the back. And you got the actual disc in the center. And you got his little board, spinning board, stupid things to do. And that's the guy right there. So he just has a very punchable face, for sure. But yeah, Deadstream, whether or not you get the Steelbook, or I think there's a regular Blu-ray as well, or watch it on Shudder, I do think it's worth checking out. I think it's a good movie, especially to watch around the spooky season. All right, guys, next up, I have not watched this yet, but Wind River, the 4K Steelbook. A nice, lovely 4K Steelbook. Now, I have seen this movie, but I haven't watched this 4K yet. So we'll take this out of the slipcover right there. Lovely artwork. So yeah, I really wanted them to do this, guys, because they did Sicario, they did Hell or High Water, and they needed to do Wind River to complete the Ty Sheridan. Is it Tyler Sheridan? I think somebody corrected me. I keep wanting to say Ty Sheridan. But I think it's Tyler Sheridan that wrote all these movies, but he wrote and directed Wind River. And this is the last of what I think they call the Frontier trilogy. None of the movies are connected, so it's not really a trilogy, but they're all just kind of like thematically connected. But this is a really cool movie. It's got Jeremy Renner. It's got Elizabeth Olsen, so it's got Hawkeye and Scarlet Witch. You got a digital code on the inside. You got some nice disc art. So you got a Blu-ray, you got a 4K in there. And yeah, this is, to be completely honest, I made a video about Lionsgate the other day. This is the best thing Lionsgate's done all year. It's the best thing. They've done the best Steelbook they've released all year, which kind of breaks my heart because they used to pump out like 2 of these awesome Steelbooks like every month. And they just don't do it anymore. So I hope that they do more stuff like Wind River in the future, because I thought this is a really cool Steelbook for them to do. And it was the right choice. Did I show you guys the discs? I showed you the disc, right? I can't remember. I'll show you the back as well. But a really good Steelbook with a really nice slipcover. And I like it. I like it a lot. And I don't think I'll do like a review for this one. But if I do watch it, I'll give my thoughts on it somewhere and somehow at some point. I made a short on this, but I picked up these 2 Blu-rays off of Groove recently. I got The Mask, I just had to get The Mask in the collection. I haven't upgraded this since VHS. Like, I had to go ahead and grab The Mask on Blu-ray. I've been holding out for the 4K. But I just had to have it in high definition at least. I don't know if the 4K is going to come or not. There was a rumor that Shout Factory was going to do it at some point, but I don't even know if that has any kind of credibility at all. But I got they had a sale. I think this was like $6 or $7 on there, so I went ahead and pulled the trigger on The Mask. And then I got an M. Night Shyamalan film, Lady in the Water. I got this on DVD, but I wanted to go ahead and upgrade this one to Blu-ray because we're upgrading a lot of M. Night Shyamalan stuff. Hopefully we get the Village pretty soon, but we're getting Signs and Sixth Sense on 4K very soon. So went ahead and grabbed Lady in the Water. I don't think they'll do this one in 4K. I don't think they will. Let me see who did this. Warner Brothers. I mean, it's possible they might, but this is not a movie that a lot of people like. I actually like this movie. I think it's pretty. I didn't like it when I first saw it back in the day, but I watched it a few years ago and I was like, you know what? This is actually a pretty cool, like, dark fantasy type movie. It's different, and I don't think it was what people were expecting from M. Night at the time. But I think there's some merit to the movie. I think it's a good movie. It's got Bryce Dallas Howard in it. It's got Paul Giamatti, and I think Paul Giamatti in a movie just kind of like anchoring it with his performance is usually always pretty great. I think he does a good job in the movie. So I like Lady in the Water. I think it's a good movie. So it was worth owning on Blu-ray for me. And both of those I think I got for like 13 or $14. Went and got this imprint release of The Secretary. And this has got Maggie Gyllenhaal and James Spader in it. And I've heard good things about this movie, so I went ahead and picked it up. I don't get a ton of imprints. I got 3 imprint earlier this year. I collect them here and there. But yeah, I wanted to check this one out. I think it's... I haven't even taken this one out of the plastic yet. I think this was a first time to Blu-ray for this movie. I could be wrong, but I think this is the first time this movie came out on Blu-ray and Imprint's putting it out, which means that Kino Lorber will probably announce a 4K very soon. Is probably how that's going to work. But let me throw my plastic over here, show you another look at that. Ooh, look at The Secretary, guys. Show you the front, show you the back. Good amount of special features there. You got From Me, But Not Me, actor Stephen Mahady on Finding Heart and Imperfect Father. So yeah, you got a lot of good, a lot of new special features here, guys. I think there's 4 new special features, and there's a new audio commentary on this release as well. This is from 2002. So yeah, I need to check this one out pretty soon. Bam! Look at that. Ooh, I like that. Is that the original poster art? Or is that something that looks like some like comic book inspired type artwork? That's pretty damn cool. I like that. Is there reversible as well? You got some disc art in there. And oh my goodness. My goodness. I mean to watch this tonight. My goodness. The Secretary. With James Spader, Maggie Gyllenhaal, yeah. Looks pretty cool. Let me know what you guys think if you've seen it. All right, lastly, guys, we got 4 Vinegar Syndrome releases to go through. Let me take another drink of water. Taking me much longer than I anticipated. But yeah, I got 4. I went ahead and caught up on the cinematography line, and I also got this release as a part of the Shudder series that they're doing, A Wounded Fawn. So what I've learned, guys, is that these Shudder titles, they go super quick. They go within like 2 or 3 hours, a lot of the times. So I've kind of just gotten in the habit of getting these now. So I don't know if I need to collect for another line, especially since I missed the first one. I didn't get Brooklyn 45, I think, but I did get The Sadness. So as long as the titles remain interesting, I'll keep collecting these Shudder titles. But I need to figure out how to get Brooklyn 45 at some point just so I can have the complete line. But right there, some really cool artwork. This is a new movie. This was a Shudder original. I heard some really good things about the movie. So I did go ahead and grab this one. You got the cover right there. Maybe I should take the plastic off first. Can you, jackass? Nobody wants to see the glare. All right. Still a little glare. But yeah, Wounded Fawn. Have you guys seen this? What is A Wounded Fawn all about? There's the disc arts. There's a little booklet on the inside. And it's got some interior artwork, but no reversible cover art. So, yeah, I'll be honest, I don't know too much about this movie, but I did hear some good things. So I am excited to check it out, and it's got a really cool slip cover, guys. So that's the only thing that matters, right? That's the only thing that matters. All right, so I did go ahead and get, like I said, I caught up on the cinematography line. Well, they just announced another one the other day, so I'm not complete on it because they are announcing these titles like left and right. I'm going to be honest, like I don't know. When they first did it at the beginning of the year, I thought it was going to be a little bit more like the VSU, like maybe 4 or 5 a year, maybe 6 or something like that, which the VSU is like 3 or 4 a year tops. But they've already done 9, and I've heard that they're going to do 10 pretty soon, and probably by the end of the year they'll have like 13 or 14. I don't know if I'm going to be able to keep up with that, so I might just have to start grabbing the ones that interest me. But these 3 actually did interest me, so I went ahead and grabbed these. The Last Embrace, and this is a movie with Roy Scheider in it. So I do want to check out more of his filmography, because what did I watch last year? Oh, Marathon Man. Yeah, he was spectacular, Marathon Man. So I don't know too much about this movie, but I did want to grab this because it was a part of the line, of course, and it looked interesting. The Last Embrace. And I do like the way that these are packaged. I got to be real careful, guys. I don't want to rip and I don't want to tear anything. But let's rip this J card off. Bam. All right. You got to be careful because this tape they put on there is not good for the actual case itself. But there's a nice little digi book on the inside that kind of looks like a storybook. And I believe this is a 4K as well. But you open this up, and yes, you got the 4K, you got the Blu-ray. And this feels thicker than a lot of the than some of the other ones. But I have checked out 3 of the titles in this line. Little Darlings I really enjoyed. Red Rock West was awesome. And Going South was really good as well, the Jack Nicholson directed film. So I need to catch up on this line, though, and check out more of the titles. But that is The Last Embrace right there. And I also got Joyride. And I'm going to be honest, when they first announced this, I was like, holy shit, Joyride? I thought it was the one with Paul Walker. And it's not. It's a different Joyride. But I think that this is just a Blu-ray. And I should have known because this whole line, the point for this line is that they are announcing, or they're putting out kind of like hidden American gems. Like these are all American films that are just kind of flew under the radar. So that's what they're putting out with this line right here, which is admirable. Pretty cool. Like I said, I gotta be careful with this tape. I don't like this tape. Vinegar Syndrome, you need to not do this tape anymore. But you got Joyride. Bam. I'll show you the back. I'm sure there's some good features on these as well, guys. Usually is. You guys can check it out for yourself. But this has got a really nice cover to it. Bam. Bam. Look at the back. Ooh, look at all that green. Then you take it out, and you got the little digibook on the inside. Open it up. I always struggle to show these books off, guys. But you got the disc right there, which is cool. Discs are cool, you know. All right, let me set this over there. That's Joyride, though. Not the Paul Walker one. And then we got Thieves Like Us, which is a movie with Shelley Duvall in it. R.I.P. Shelley Duvall. She just passed away recently. So I think she passed away like maybe a week or 2 after this was announced or something like that. So that's pretty crazy. And we'll take the plastic off of this. And this is a 4K. This is a 4K. So some of these in this line are 4K, some are not. They're not all guaranteed to be 4Ks, but I'll show you the back. And this seems like a pretty cool movie. This is from 1974, so this is 6 years before The Shining. This is early Shelley Duvall. And, oh, this is a film directed by Robert Altman, which I'll admit this right now, I haven't checked out a lot of Robert Altman films, if I've checked out one. I don't know if I've checked out one of his movies. So that is a director that I need to get into a little bit more. So that is cool to have in the collection. I mean, they're getting like legitimate films and filmmakers in this line, guys. Like, this is not the typical Vinegar Syndrome schlock right here with these releases. So you got 4K UHD and Blu-ray. So yeah, this is a really cool line, I think. This is honestly, I feel like this is honestly Vinegar Syndrome's answer to Criterion. Like, in a way, like it feels like a Criterion type line with Vinegar Syndrome. All right, so I did not take off the tape on this one. I'm telling you guys, this is not cool because I feel like I'm going to rip off part of the packaging. And I don't like it one bit. So yeah, I don't like that. I don't like that tape. Anyway, show the front. You got some cool stuff on the back as well. Really cool release. Honestly, if there's one of these that I'm going to watch first, is probably going to be this one because this looks like the coolest film of the bunch. Thieves Like Us. But with that, guys, I'm done. This was a full-bodied pickup video is what I like to call this. So thank you all so much for watching. Like I said, I'll link a lot of these releases down below in the description. So if you want to check out any of these titles, you can check out the links down below. Thank you all so much for watching. Like, comment, subscribe, turn on bell notifications for all future videos. Follow me on all of my social media accounts. Those links are down below in the description, and we'll see you next time.